We're gonna give a couple talks, very fast, lightning talks, just to get you started on what's possible here tonight. This is not your typical hackathon. You're not going to come out with this like amazing project. At the end, what I want you to do, I want you to have, we're going to take an hour. We're going to take an hour to hack. I want you to be an hour better at AI than when you started. That's the main goal here.
One of the big things that's changed is there's this new generation of AI models across all sorts of different domains that have a high degree of transferability between tasks. And that enables us as developers to just go build. Workers AI is all about making inference just work, right? As simple as possible. We also have a full stack developer platform that lets you build applications entirely on Cloudflare. And Cloudflare is hiring.
And my project is like implementing function calling. What is function calling? LLMs are dumb. There's no real-time data. They hallucinate all the time. They cannot perform actions. What if an LLM could have the superpowers that code has, but it has also the decision-making power that a natural language model does? What I want to do is, I want to give it a prompt that I want it in this format, and then give it like a string, and it should give me in that format so that I can run a function and then do stuff later on with it. A user says a prompt, and then the server goes, yo, bro, can you run this? After doing the response, we can send it back to the LLM. And then for the user, it's like magic, because user is giving a prompt, and it's getting an actual natural language response back, which is like crazy. So you write code for everything here. And that is a lot of code that you need to write to perform one function. And me, being a noob, I don't like that, because writing tools is hard, and doing function callings and everything, and I'm just an intern, man. I don't want to do all this. So now a new idea was, all right, what if we abstract all of that away? Someone gives prompts and tools, and then we give a response back. So this is all we need now. What if I could just give it a spec that looks something like this, that is an open API spec that acts as an abstraction layer, because basically all websites and APIs have an open API spec. So this acts as an abstraction layer, which the tools are automatically generated, and that leads to some crazy good stuff. So I'll just show you the demo right away. So let's just ask, who is Dhravya on GitHub? And it actually is going to the GitHub API simply, and there we go. So cool. Oh my God, I hit 1,000 followers. That is crazy. And yeah, also, if you can, please check out my project Super Memory, because it is right now on 2.9 thousand stars, and I'm tired of saying that it is at almost 3,000 stars. Someone make that 3,000, please.
The moon was high over Austin town, demos humming as the code went down, fingers flying, keyboards clicking fast, learning to bend the future, having a blast. Neon lights on 6th Street glow, while algorithms starting to grow, rusty guitars and new AI tricks, a modern twist on old cowpoke picks. Hacknight neath the Texas skies, future dreams reflected in our eyes, lines of code in a digital dance, chasing the frontier where machines advance.
So I am not exactly a developer. I'm a manager on our documentation team. I also work on these, so I also work on the Workers AI docs and a lot of developer platform docs, so it's good for me to test this out and make sure I'm not giving you bad code samples. A common thing that we have in documentation is that we love to write words, and words are great, but sometimes images are better. So what I was wondering is, hey, can I take the text from a page, just summarize it, and then use that to generate an image? Because something that actually Jesse mentioned was you can chain models together. I was like, oh, I never thought of that. That's really cool. I think if I had more time, maybe I'd try and hook this up to browser rendering, grab the text from the page and do it. But basically, this just takes this text. Let me just run that. And it might take a little bit. But yeah, and it gets a little bit surreal. I've had a hit rate of, some of them are good and interesting, and some of them look like terrifying. It takes a little bit because you're passing into, but yeah, that's what Cloudflare is. And yeah, you can play around and just, yeah, I don't know, that's another one, but yeah, just passing it between two models, so yeah. It's fun.
Okay, let me go with the idea. I suck at stand-ups, so I invented A5. Technically, I invented, which is the automated artificial morning agenda, right? So you basically give it a stand-up. What did I do yesterday? I worked on 3 pull requests, and I also made Cloudflare's docs better. And the idea is like using AI, you get the Llama 3 8B, whatever the model was, to give you a better version of your stand-up. The part where I have failed is that I didn't give it a good prompt. So this is the answer, which doesn't make any sense to me. And the prompt was like, you are a tech mentor, you know how to write amazing stand-ups, yada, yada, yada. Given this simple text, make my stand-up sound better, but yeah, this is it.
It's doing stand-up comedy. That's what I think of stand-up is.
Yeah, but I did say a tech stand-up, so it's, hello human, I'm undefined, and I'm judging you for not defending me. What's the deal with undefined, right? That's me, thank you, Orlie, that's my name. Well, that's it. That's all I got for you guys.
My name is Christian. I'm on the builds and automation team at Cloudflare. If you've used Cloudflare Pages before, basically I work on some of the build stuff for that. I've never used Workers AI at all, so this is my first time using it. So I figured let's try and do something simple. I've used ChatGPT as a user. I haven't used any of the APIs. So I decided I'm going to create a super simple AI that will essentially take in a prompt, live request the Wikipedia API, and basically summarize the article. Essentially, I used Hono, which is like an awesome HTTP router. I wrote some of the crappiest JS I've written in like probably 2 years. Lots of inlined HTML, it's pretty awful. But the gist is that if we ask it a question, it'll basically summarize that Wikipedia article. So if anyone has an idea of something you want me to summarize, what's the biggest lake in Texas? It probably will not be able to do that, but let's try. What is the largest lake in Texas? Let's see. Sam Rayburn Reservoir. I didn't expect it to work. Okay, there we go. AI is magic. Once it gives you back the Wikipedia URL, it basically parses out the subject from that URL, sends it to the Wikipedia API, gets the text back, gets whatever can fit into the context window, and then uses the user's prompt. And it works surprisingly well in an hour of work. But that's basically the gist of it. That's my messing around with Workers AI. But yeah. I'm still surprised that this worked.
I'm what's called a to-do driven developer / to-do comments in my code, right? Maybe some of us do, maybe some of us don't. To me, it's a little bit easier than throwing an issue together all the time. In this particular case, I was like, hey, I've got this LLM. It's a better coder than I am, maybe, but I'll let it fill out the to-do statements for me, right? So I took a little inspiration from Craig's Python Jupyter notebook. I did this in JavaScript just to mess it up a little bit. Again, we're operating here on an hour, so I had ChatGPT, it's like a battle of the LLMs here, write me out some JavaScript code that has a to-do statement in it. You can tell ChatGPT wrote this because it actually left a big, nice comment, Java doc style up at the top. This is like a calculate area function, and it takes a shape, and I left a little to-do statement in there, add some more shapes. So it's got a circle in there. I have no idea if that's the right math. It probably is, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all LLM hallucinations. So we've got this to-do statement, and then here's all the Cloudflare part. And again, this is scrapped together code over the course of 40 minutes, so it's clunky. But I'm basically just making a post to a Cloudflare URL here. And what I'm doing is I'm loading up that file with the to-do statement in it. And I'm using this little trick, which is fim begin and fim whole and fim end. So if you want to use this DeepSeek coder model, you send it some source code. You prepend fim begin with as like a little tag, and you append fim underscore end to it. And then the part where you want some code in the middle, you put fim underscore whole. It appends fim whole to the to-do statements, which is this little method here, process to-do statements. Anyway, point being, it sends that over to Cloudflare's Workers AI, runs the model, and here is the amazing output, and again, it's all command line. So it's calling Cloudflare here. That's either strategic pause or actually calling the API. And here it is here. There's the to-do statement. And it added a triangle for me. And what else did it pick out? A rectangle. So sometimes it adds a square, sometimes it adds a rectangle. I don't know how the LLM decides, but I thought it was cool. So again, I have no idea if this is valid. You could have the LLM write you some tests, whatever. But I thought it was cool use of Cloudflare and LLMs. All right, that's all I got.
I'm also a Workers AI newbie, and I don't really know much about AI, but I thought this is a cool event. I'm gonna try my best. Gonna make something. So then, essentially, one thing I was thinking about is I'm pretty interested in how AI speaks and the emotions they put behind their words, the kind of personas they take on. So then, I thought it'd be interesting to basically ask my AI to be a certain type of mom. So for example, a Canadian mom, since I'm Canadian, German mom, cow mom, whatever mom. So we're gonna enter in a sort of mom, and then we're gonna enter in a prompt, and the AI is gonna take the persona of that mom and teach us how to say my prompt in that sort of way. So, for example, if I'm let's do Canadian, and then prompt can be take your vitamins. I've never tried this. This is also using the vanilla chat app repo, so just taking the UI for that. So then it's gonna take a while. Okay, so then it's gonna teach us how to speak in Canadian. So let me give you a proper lesson. Technically, since I'm Canadian, it should just be take your vitamins. But according to AI, it is take your vitamins. Well, let me tell you, it's not take your vitamins, it's taka your vitamins, eh? I mean, okay, we can do one more. Instead of Canadian, I was thinking, we can try, I don't know, something random, alien. I don't know. It doesn't even have to be it doesn't have to be human. Does anyone have any other prompts they want to put in? Any other things? Hello world. So if we have an alien mom, how do you respond to alien? Oh. Greetings, organic life form. Adjust spacesuit. It is I, your alien mother. Maybe this didn't work as intended, but you get the idea. It just teaches you how to speak in whatever way. Yeah, it's like a teenage mother teaching you how to speak. And AI, I guess, has some personality.
Our project is, so you're working in a company or you're on Discord and you want a cute icon, to show off your personality, but you don't really want to show your face. So that's our project. So you enter an animal, you enter a color, and you enter a food and an accessory, and it produces some cute avatars for you to use on your social media app. So
If you want to use it yourself, just go to the URL and she'll show a demo.
So before Dhravya goes into the code, I'll say, I think, unicorn.
Want to add a spinner? Yeah. There we go.
So yeah, you have to go through a couple to get something cute.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
I think I might use
Very
this,
fast.
honestly.
Yeah.
And I think we can go through how you coded this, because
Yes.
I think it was involved.
Yes. So don't look at the left side there. I'll just remove it. The only two files that mattered was the backend, which is written with Hono. And basically, it just gets like a Zod object with the prompt that's sent from the front end. And this is all the code. It just runs nv.ai. And that's how simple it is to do something like that. And this I actually generated using V0, which is crazy because I did not have to write any code to do the front end. So it's not as impressive as it seems, but there we go. It just generated it. So that's where we got the UI from. And yeah, this is just like a JavaScript fetch that's being done here with the prompt. Very cool, very nice. And then done. We just set image URL, and it shows up in the image URL. And then a thinking part that I added like later, the loading state. So we actually are using the SDXL Lightning, which is super duper fast, and that's what like helps like make everything much better. If you want to use it, go to this URL, and you can generate your own online avatar based on whatever you want.
I'm an incoming intern at Cloudflare. I start next week. And my idea is sort of like a teaching platform. Has anybody seen the movie The Big Short? The Big Short, it was a movie on the housing crisis. In that movie, there were certain concepts that are very tough for the non-finance public to understand. So what they do is they say, okay, you know what? I know you don't understand the concept of AAA bonds, so here's Margot Robbie to explain that. And Margot Robbie is there sitting pretty, and she's explaining the concept in a very good way, a very amazing way. And of course, everyone loves Margot Robbie, and we can probably learn anything that Margot Robbie tells us. So that got me wondering, we can probably learn anything that Margot Robbie tells us, or maybe your favorite celebrity. And I got to talking with a few people, and Kathy told me that she really likes Ryan Reynolds. And what if I could make Ryan Reynolds explain the concept of black holes or any other concept? And you just type in, I want this celebrity to explain this concept to me. And so as you can see, there's not really much text here. But I would like to talk about how I did that. OK, so what I did was I took the input from one specific llama model, and that was a text-to-text model. So just asking it to explain the concept of black holes, that is, get the crux or the content of the teaching. And if I put all of that into a comic strip, so generating an image in the style of a comic strip, and I append all of the data to inside in the prompt that I'm setting, and I say, after this next sentence, use all of that inside the comic strip. And this is how I'm generating this image. And I generated a couple other images. Well, it's a little closer. You can sort of make out that he's explaining something about the universe. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, that was pretty much about the idea. Right, so thank you so much.
What's up, guys? How are you all doing tonight? Come on, make some noise. Oh, let's go. That's what I want. Awesome. So today, I'm going to be talking about how I saved my bum with Cloudflare, right? I should have paid a company $800, but Cloudflare came to rescue and I didn't pay. This is the story. So I was building this project called Shopwise.tech. This is a very web scraping intensive project, right? I got to scrape off the net and use the CPU as much as I can. And what this does is basically scrapes the whole internet, gets the cheapest price of a product, and alerts you when the price of the product dips down so that you can get it at the best price. And now there needs to be a lot of web scraping done for that. And I push the code to public, like a dumbhead. And the next thing I wake up to in the morning is a notification. And this is what I see, a $65 bill that only got generated in 24 hours. And damn, I questioned my existence, like every other developer here. And then what I did was I got to looking for solutions. And Dhravya here, a friend of mine, got me into browser rendering. And it sounded cool, and I wanted to check what it was. It basically scraped the internet for me, but free. Cloudflare always does it. It's always free, right? And there you go. I found the solution. And that's why I'm here. I want to give it back to the community. I'm going to be teaching you all how to use browser rendering with Workers AI here. We are going to be creating a RAG application that can chat with websites and documentations in just 7 steps. That's how easy Cloudflare has made it for us. Let's get coding. Awesome. So first of all, download all the packages, do all the setup. And the first piece of code is to init the launcher, init the browser, right? So Puppeteer is going to be the package that's going to do all the web scraping for you. Launch the Puppeteer instance, and then open a new page and go to the URL you want. And then get all the HTML content of that page. It's just as simple as that. And now chunk all the HTML data that you got and store it on D1. D1 is like the database that Cloudflare provides us. And once you're done with storing them all, you have to extract embeddings from the query. And what are embeddings here, right? Embeddings are basically numerical representations of your text. So you say you ask, hi, how are you, to the chatbot, right? The chatbot doesn't know what hi, how are you is. It converts them into numerical representations, and then it understands, okay, hi, how are you is something along the lines of hi, how are you, good morning, and all that, and then it gives you a reply similar to that. And that's what we're doing now. We're generating vector embeddings so the computers can understand what we're trying to tell it. And that's what we're doing. We are using this model to generate the embeddings and then trying to store it in the vector database. And vector database is a different kind of database. These are not regular databases. Retrieval here happens based on relevance. It gives all the possible matches of that particular query you gave. And then you're just comparing that query to all the existing data in D1 to get out the similar thing that you can. And then also give it some context and set some boundaries. Like when answering to the question or responding, use the context provided. And if there's no context or anything, just say, I don't know. And that is it. You're going to use the Llama 3 model and then get the job done. That's how easy Cloudflare has made it for us. All right, so that was basically it. That's how you can save $800 and use browser and Ray. Also workers if you want to. So yeah, that is it. And I'm also an intern over here. I'm Dhanush. I'm working under Zero Trust. I'm also an app developer. So feel free to come and say hi. And this is my portfolio website. You can stalk me over here.